Rhonda Rousey, obviously she's doing really well in WWE now. What are your thoughts on her as a fighter and her success now as a wrestler?
I think her success as a wrestler definitely comes from her fame as an Ultimate Fighter, you know, from the UFC. I think with the UFC as a fighter, she was ahead of her time. So I call her, I used to say, because the girls were, we'll say backlogged, so it'd be like Hoist, right? Because she's been doing judo forever, so that'd be like Hoist doing jiu-jitsu, and people never seen jiu-jitsu, you know, from fighting. And she was fighting people that never saw judo or jiu-jitsu because they were girls, that the skill level hasn't even came up until I think years and years later, like 3 or 4 years later after she's already been fighting, they finally caught on about the jiu-jitsu, and then but they were the stand-up guys. So they added the jiu-jitsu part, and then that just changed the whole gamut for her, where she's like, oh, these people know how to punch and grapple. So I think she's like the Hoist Gracie of the women's MMA. The one thing about making that much money with professional wrestling is you can do it on Monday, and guess what? I can do another Monday Night Raw, and then there's 4 Mondays in a month. So it's like you can definitely make your money, and you don't have to work and then you already know the outcome. So you're like, what do I gotta do? I mean, it's like you got to do a lot of physical work, so you're a professional stuntman, but it's not. You don't have to worry. You don't have to do a camp.
Is that something that you would consider once you retire from MMA, because you kind of have a pro wrestler look to you?
Yeah, no, the one thing about pro wrestling is it's always, you know, I've always been astonished by, you know, like professional wrestling. You know, I was always like that, you know, I grew up with WCW, with NWO, you know, like that's when like you were like, oh, Hulk Hogan, he moved over, he became the bad guy, you know, like, so like you definitely got, you know, like I think the other day there was an Andre the Giant on HBO, you know, the special about like how the passing of the torch from Hulk Hogan from Andre the Giant, you know, like there's a lot of deep, you know, seated roots in that's in professional wrestling that's also in MMA, because I think the UFC stole the model from professional wrestling.
Yeah, and they're doing it actually better now as far as entertainment value overall, I find.
Because you don't know the outcome. Right. Like where we'll say in professional wrestling, you kind of already know kind of the outcome. If like, oh, this guy's really, you know, really hot, he's gonna keep winning. You know, like it's like, I remember when Goldberg was like undefeated, he's on the 67th match. Oh, he's undefeated, he'd do another spear, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, but then where the shock one, you're like, oh no, he's fighting a good guy. You know, then he loses, you're like, oh, but if you knew he was fighting a stiff, you know, or then you're like, he's not gonna lose. But in MMA, if he's fighting and it's a championship fight, you're like, no, that other guy's pretty good too. So you don't know what's gonna happen. So you have to watch. Is
there any pro wrestlers that you liked growing up?
You know, I like Big Van Vader.
We actually interviewed Vader, and I'll ask you about this. He said that he could beat Chael Sonnen in a fight. What do you think about that?
You know what? I think he'd probably beat him in a fight, but I don't know if I'd like to see the more verbal combat. Let's see like who could win that one.
Actually, Chael said, I guess he saw the clip that we posted of Vader talking about him, and he said he wasn't even gonna do a comeback to a Vader one.
That's funny. No, but like Big Van Vader. I mean, you got. I mean, everybody loved Hulk Hogan. You know, there's just so many different guys. But then you see the fall from, you know, like where you're looking and you're like, okay, like, you know, Macho Man, you know, like Scott Hall, you know, like you're like all these icons, and then when you see after, you're like, man, the effect that, you know, when you're like, man, it's just like MMA, like how hard it is on the body, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's like,
there might be more partying in wrestling though too, that I think affects those wrestlers a lot.
I think I want to say it's that, but it's also, I think, bumps hurt.
Yeah, that's also true.
So that's the thing is like a lot of people don't get that's why I said it's like being a professional stuntman and going, I'm gonna jump off this building today, I'm gonna keep jumping off this building, and then eventually the bag wasn't there set up right or something stupid, and you're like, oh, that landed on that wrong. It's like having a bad day of practice with sparring, and then you're like, man, I shouldn't have done that.